the enigmatic entrepreneur whose words will make you sure. Know, trust, and believe. The master teacher has come to help you succeed. The gem dropper, the truth speaker, the voice in the universe that will bring you to your highest peak. Welcome to the Get High on Motivation Show with Mimi the Motivator, your favorite motivator's favorite motivator.
Go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that share button. And if you're joining me on YouTube, I want to know, where are you checking in from? Don't be ignoring me. I'll come looking for you. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, love bugs. I love you. Let's start there. And then secondly, I just need us to take a good cleansing deep breath. We're going to start with the out breath, not with the in breath, because I need you to get all that old stale energy that's been lurking in you from the past couple days, past couple nights, past couple weeks, months, all year long. Let's go ahead and blow all that air and energy out. Slowly fill up that belly. Fill up that chest. All the way to the top of your head. And let it all out. Yes, 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 yes. So welcome to another show of Get High on Motivation. I am Mimi the Motivator, your favorite motivator's favorite motivator. And I am committed to helping you change your life, transform who you are, transform everything in your life, your relationships, your finances, but most importantly, you, because everything is a reflection of you. And when we start transforming ourselves, our whole world begins to transform. And that's what this is about. We want to get our mind, our body, our spirit, and our finances right. So if you are interested in any of those things being a little better in your life, then you have tuned into the right show. We like to focus on becoming 1% better in one area of our life. And I hope that each and every week I give you at least 1 or 2 things to help make that happen. Hopefully 7 to make it through the week, right? So I definitely thank you for tuning in wherever you are tuning in from. Before I get started today, I want to say a big, huge thank you to CRS Essentials. I can't get the name right. I'm going to have to drop it in the link, y'all. Oh my gosh, let me tell y'all something. This beautiful goddess sent me some sea moss. I told her I tried sea moss for the first time, not too sure about it. She was like, don't worry about it. I got you. I'm sending you something. What's your address? And I'm like, what's my address? Y'all, she sent me sea moss gummy, so I don't even have to worry about that old weird texture, because I'm tactile, and if you're tactile, sea moss gel can be very challenging. And if you don't know the benefits of sea moss gel, maybe we'll talk about that next week. I'm not going to talk about it today because I don't have enough time. I got so much in my notes that I want to cover. I wrote notes because I want to be sure that I get the juice to you. But I'm very grateful. And I want to say that her website is crscollections.com. This wonderful woman sent me not only the sea moss gummies, but she sent me some special sea moss with some flavor. It doesn't look scary. It doesn't look like... That's how sea moss gel looks to me, okay? And she sent me some soursop tea. And I love soursop tea. And she's got it mixed with her biscuits. So I'm just very, very excited. And I'm very, very grateful. I'm grateful for anytime somebody sends me something. Y'all know that. So if you want to send me something, let me know. Reach out to me, ask me for my address, and I'll send it to you. So you can send me what you like. And that way I can check it out, and I can tell my friends, I can tell my love bugs about you and what it is that you have for us to make our lives 1% better. Because getting your digestive health and all that stuff on the inside right helps us get stuff on the outside right. Okay? So today we are talking about how to grow your money. How to grow your money is the subject. Before we dive into that, we are going to, get some wisdom from my tea bag. And it is not today's tea bag, y'all. I had a tea bag while I was away. I've been out of the office for a week. And magically, I'm in a whole nother state that had my box of tea. I don't know why that box of tea was there. I don't know if I bought it the last time I was there. I don't know. But I was just grateful. It was some throat coat. If you know anything about speaking a lot, your throat be like, help. So my throat coat tea, y'all. I checked out my tea bag, and my tea bag told me to use my energy to build, not to destroy. Use your energy to build, not to destroy. Light bulbs, whistles, alarms, everything was going off in my head. Everything was going off in my whole everything, just considering these words and how I needed them. Because I'm a high energy person, and I can use my energy to build, or I can use my energy to tear you to pieces. And typically when I tear somebody to pieces, it is not intentional. But what that also tells me is that I was not being intentional about building them up. I did not come from a family that built you up. I came from a family that tears you down, and they still tear me down 40 years later. Okay, I still have to hear the same old demeaning remarks, the same old non-affirming statements that I've had to hear my whole entire life, and now I still have to hear them. But that's part of being family, right? Yeah. But what I realized is that I also use my energy in that way. It's in my DNA, but that doesn't mean that I cannot change that. I am committed to becoming 1% every day. I'm 1% better, regardless. I want to be more than that. And some days I feel like I am 100. I feel like I'm about 100 over here. But in real life, I'm just taking baby steps towards the life that I desire, to having the relationships that I desire. And I am a very harsh person. I am a high energetic person. I speak with compassion. I speak with conviction. And with that, it's okay for me. I do it, and I'm going to keep doing it. But what I want to be sure of is that my conviction and my compassion is surrounding the right idea, and that I am using the proper words, that a person is feeling like they are being built up and not being torn down, even if I'm fussing at them and we having that come to Jesus meeting. It's possible. I think about how anybody out there quality control. And what I mean by quality control, you walk in somebody's house and you immediately start identifying what they could be doing differently. And then you might even go as far as to actually verbalize that. I do that. I'm very guilty of it. But what I was not realizing is that sometimes the words that I use, maybe even the timing as well, was not conveying the message that I desired to convey. And definitely was not yielding the results that I desired to yield with this person. I'm more of that kind of like tough coach that might cuss you out type coach. And so, you also have that loving coach that pats you on the back and says, good job, you're doing this. I do a little bit of that, but not as much. I'm not going to lie to you. None whatsoever. So if you need somebody to be a pain in your side, sign me up. I got you. I charge good prices. But really, in all honesty, I really had to reflect and pay more attention. And so since then, I have been so much more mindful of what comes out of my mouth. I let the thoughts come into my head, but I do not allow them to come out my mouth. You don't have to speak everything you think. I'm going to repeat that for the people in the back. You don't have to speak everything you think. Some stuff just needs to stay in your head and maybe seep out your ear or something to somewhere Neverland, but not to come out of our mouths. I have mentioned this before about the 3 rules before we open up our mouths to somebody. Is it true? Is it nice or kind? Excuse me. And is it necessary? Those are the 3 rules that we have to get through, the 3 thresholds we have to get through before we open up our mouths. But what I'm really thinking about is how I have always hung on to that. Well, it was true. And I felt it was necessary because I always want to see people grow. And I feel like the only way we can grow is if we evaluate and we've identified areas where we can work harder, work more, do less, whatever the case may be. And I'm always wanting everybody around me to evolve with me. But everybody is not in a position of evolving. Everybody is not in a receptive mode of evolving information. Everybody is not cool with changes. Some people are like, I'm good just how I am. This is how I've been and this is how I'm going to be. Who are you? Where are you on that spectrum? And what are we really using our energy to do? Some people are using their energy to attack people on social media. Even if it is subliminal and you put that one post out and that one person knows that was for them. There's some other people who thought that post was for them as well. And so you might have hurt some other people's feelings. So how about we use our energy to build versus to destroy? So instead of telling somebody how they're doing something is so very wrong, if nothing else, find something that you like in what they're doing or admire about what they're doing, but then say, hey, you know what? There is a different way we possibly can approach this, and approach it with them. Don't guide and point your finger and tell them what to do. You're not the boss of nobody. Even if you have employees, honey, they still do what they want to do, no matter what you tell them to do. I don't even have employees. I have co-owners, and they do whatever they want to do. I might be president and CEO, and I might give them some lists to do, some tasks and some deadlines. But at the end of the day, they're grown-ups and they're going to do what they want to do, or what they felt was the most important thing to do at the time. It's part of what we have to think about. And so where my rah-rah self will be ready to bite somebody's head off about, hey, you didn't meet this deadline. Hey, you're not doing your part. Hey, you're not contributing the way that you said you would. What if I rephrase that? What if I draw those thoughts back, reconfigure my words, and say, hey, I noticed that you haven't been able to meet your deadlines. Is there something that I could do to help you? Is there something going on that's preventing this from happening? One of my team members gave me some great advice last night. She said, assess before I kick asses. And the words are very spelled similar. So assess before you start kicking ASS's. Because y'all know me, I'm ready to kick A's, kick butts, and take names, you know. I'll send you on your way. I have no problem. I'm the queen of the cutoff. But maybe before I become queen of the cutoff and be off with his head, maybe I can assess the situation. Maybe I can ask some questions and dig and see. Maybe there was something going on. Maybe there's been a technical glitch. People have a lot going on in their lives. And sometimes it's not that they're ignoring us or ignoring the deadline. They just got a lot of stuff on their plate. They have a lot of stuff in their mind. They have a lot of things that they are attempting to deal with and maybe don't even know how. And then here you come giving them the blues about something that they did not do and that they totally forgot about because it just wasn't in their awareness. So before we go chopping off people's heads, let's assess the situation. And let's see, is this an opportunity to build versus an opportunity to destroy? So we're going to take a sip of water and then we're going to move into our conversation about how to grow this money. Now, I don't care how much money you got. And there's going to be that one person say, well, I'm just fine with what I have. But in real life, I think the majority of us have something in common. We all desire to have more money. We all desire to have more freedom. We just desire to have a happy life. I think that's something that we all have in common. And if you don't desire a happy life, if you don't desire more, you are listening to the wrong show. Go ahead and turn me off and don't tune back in. Because this is only for people who are willing to evolve, who have a desire to evolve, who have a desire for higher levels of life, for a higher level of experience, higher levels in their bank account. And if that's you, then this is the show for you. So today we're talking about how do we grow our money. So I want to talk about a few different things, but most importantly, I'm going to start off because I am a plant mommy. I'm going to start off about comparing how you grow money to how you grow plants. Because the process is so very much the same. If you treated your money like it was a garden, you may approach it differently. Approach your money as a farmer would. A farmer knows when it's time to till the soil, which means it's getting ready and getting prepared for what is going to be planted. What that means for us is doing our research, doing our homework, doing our due diligence on the things that we are considering investing in, or even if it's not a business and it might just be a diamond ring. Do your homework. It might be one on sale, the same exact ring somewhere else, 50% off. But till the soil. Make sure that the soil is ready. So the next thing that a gardener does is plant seeds. And most gardeners don't plant the same seed unless that's just you're an orange grove person and that's how you make your money. I understand. But even a lot of people who have farms have multiple crops because one crop might not do well. Most importantly, all the crops don't act the same. They don't have the same requirements. The same thing happens in our money life. All of our money, all of our investments don't require the same amount of water. We plant different seeds also because we have different harvest times. We plant different seeds because we need more than just one type of food to eat. Same thing for our financial life. That's where that multiple streams are coming from. It's like multiple streams with with food attached to them. So let's think about this. Let's lay this out. We're going to plant some different seeds. We're going to plant some seeds that we know are going to grow. We got some seeds that are going to grow and grow big. And then we got some seeds that are going to take a long time. And we have to be prepared for all of it. We can't expect the plant that takes 150 days to harvest in 15 days. It's just not going to happen. We have to water our plants. What does that mean if we're watering our money? Think about a savings account or a stock portfolio. You don't just put money in there one time and walk away and go mind your own business. No, you keep coming back to it, adding to it, feeding the account, so that way it can continue to grow and it doesn't remain stagnant or it doesn't start dying. So how are you watering your money? How are you watering the different streams of money that you have? I recently realized that there's one of my streams of income that I have not been watering. And it doesn't make sense. I need to water it, even if I water it a little bit, because like I said, all plants don't need the same amount of water. I have an orchid over here in the corner that y'all can't see that I spray water on every single day. Every day this plant get a little water. They get a little mist. And I might go mist the other plants just so they don't get jealous and stuff. But my orchid, water it every single day. Then I have this tall tree in the next room that if I water it too often, it's going to start acting funny. It's going to start smelling funny. It's just going it's going to get mad at me. It's going to be like, look, Ma, I'm drowning over here. We have to pay attention to what is being done, what is being said, what is being watered. Now, thinking about that watering, you think about sunlight, right? What the sunlight is about is not only nourishing, but also protection. See, let's go back to this orchid. An orchid is natural habitat, is at the base of a tree in a tropical rainforest. So it doesn't get direct sunlight. It's used to having more of that shaded light. We have to protect our money, and you have to figure out how each one of your assets, and not just money, because assets count to me in my head as money. You have to be able to protect your assets. Don't just get the assets and don't take care of them. There's people who buy properties and don't take care of them. They're mad because the property is costing them all this money for all these repairs. But if they only maintained it, it would not have cost them as much. We have to maintain our assets. We have to maintain what we plant. We have to protect what we plant. How do you protect your money? You put it in certain financial vehicles that were protected from Uncle Sam. You put your money in the bank and not under the bed in the shoebox. Think about how do you need to protect the current assets that you have, making sure that you have insurance on things, insurance on your house, insurance on your vehicles, insurance on yourself, insurance on your kids and them. Whoever, whatever, protect your assets. So that way they don't get burned, because the sun can burn a plant. So what's next on my list is that you have to think and speak positively about them. If you got plants, you have to talk to your plants. You got to show them some love, right? You have to think positively about them, even if it is a dead plant. I think I mentioned last week or the week before how I resurrect plants. I bring them back to life. And the only way I can do that is to think that, hey, there's life possible. Whatever your dreams and your visions of how much money you desire to be accumulating and generating and attracting is based upon our thoughts. Are we thinking good about the money, or are we paying bills and complaining and griping? I gotta pay this. I just got a flat tire. I gotta change my water heater. We all have these kind of things going on. It's just part of life. It's a part of adulting, if you ask me. But what if we paid those same bills? Like, yes, I'm glad I can pay this bill. Here you go, light company. Here you go, mortgage company. Making it rain on your bill collectors. Making it rain on debt collectors. Think positively about your money. Say it to yourself, I love money and money loves me. Money is my boo thing. You have to have a positive relationship with money, because money has emotions, okay? Money is energy. It's just like the plants have emotions. You think your plants don't got feelings because they don't have no mouth to cry? But they do have emotions, and they do respond to what's going on in the environment. Your money responds as well to what's going on in this environment. What kind of environment are we placing our money in? What kind of investments are we placing them in? Are we putting them in risky investments that we don't know anything about? Or have we done our due diligence about this particular industry or about this particular company, and we feel confident about putting our money on that? You have to understand that, as we mentioned earlier, everything doesn't develop at the same time. Everything doesn't have the same harvest rate or growth rate. I did a little bit of homework on that because I wanted to see, the different plants and whatnot. So what I found out is that radishes can grow in 3 to 4 weeks. I know you're like, who cares, right? But compare that to some Brussels sprouts or tomatoes that have to grow for 150 days before we can take that first bite. Then I'm going to move over to the bamboo, the Chinese bamboo. It's one of my favorite. The Chinese bamboo. You're going to water that thing. You're going to water that thing. You're going to water that thing. And it's not going to grow. It ain't going to be no 150 days. It ain't going to be no 3 or 4 weeks. It's going to be a long time, possibly years, of you watering this plant. And nobody seeing any growth happen. You not even seeing any growth happen. You just have to think positively and have faith that your harvest will come. See, the thing is about the bamboo plant, that joker can grow super fast. It's not that it's growing super slow. You just can't see the growth that's happening. I believe there's some people in our lives that we can't even see the growth happening. We can't even sometimes see the growth happening in ourselves because the growth is not happening on the surface level. What I believe about the bamboo is that bamboo is getting strong. It's growing its roots. It's going deep. It's going wide. So that way, when it does grow up tall, it can support that. How many people have we seen get in a position of having a lot of money but don't know how to handle it? Or their business gets an onslaught of customers, but they don't know how to handle it. And then the business has to close or things go south. You have to be prepared to handle your money. One way we get prepared to handle our money is with a budget. Having a balance sheet. A profit and loss sheet if you're in business. Knowing where your money is going, where it's coming in from, and where it's going out to. How often, how much does that need to be adjusted? Should there be more money allocated to certain areas and less in some of them areas that we know we ain't got no business spending? You have to understand that there's even this plant called an agave. And they believe that the agave blooms every 100 years. That's not true. It actually blooms like every 25 to 30 years. But it's the same thing with this cactus that we used to have on my porch back in Nashville. It would bloom this beautiful flower, typically just one flower, maybe once a year. And it's going to open up at nighttime. And if you are not present or if you are not ready, you're going to miss it. Sounds like some investment opportunities, doesn't it? You have to be ready for investment opportunities. And that's why we need to have money in the bank. So I am not a super advocate of putting all your money in a savings account. I believe in having at least 3 months of a stash of your monthly nut in a savings account. Definitely. Because you want to have liquid cash available. But also we want to have an account that's not our own nest egg, but more of when opportunity presents itself, I'm going to be ready egg. This cactus that I grew the one flower on once a year. One year we grew 5 blooms in 1 year. How did we make that happen? And I say we because it was me and my friends. We got 5 blooms 1 year. But what happened differently this year is that I watered the cactus more, even though I was told that, cactus don't need that much water. And I put it outside on the porch. It grew so tall that year. Both of them, I had 2. They grew so tall that year and they produced so many blooms that year. But it was because I was watering it. I was paying attention and I got to catch all the blooms because I was ready. I was invested. I was committed. And I was taking care of my asset. I made sure that it didn't get too hot. It didn't get too much water because I didn't want it to drown because plants don't like that stuff. But we have to start thinking of our money in this aspect. How can we think about our money more like a plant? We all should even think about creating a plan. A farmer has a plan. He knows when he's going to plant what, when he's going to harvest, what he's going to put in that same spot when he takes that other plant out. We have to have a plan. What do you even want your farm or your garden to look like? Write it down. We have to write what we desire down. I want to take a note out of Think and Grow Rich and say that Decide on a certain amount of money. Decide by when you desire to have this money, and what are you going to do in exchange for it. That third part is where a lot of people fall off. They just want the money to come. But what are you willing to do in exchange for it? This is an energy exchange. Ain't nobody just dunking money on you just cuz. Even people who win the lottery, they have done some mental, spiritual, something work, even going to the store every day and buying tickets, physical work to make that happen. What are you willing to do in exchange for that large sum of money that you desire to be landing in your bank account? Decide now. Then break that money goal down, because there is going to be some physical action that is required to make this possible. Did you know that $1 million is nothing but $500 a day? If you can make $500 a day, you've made a meal for the year. So let's try something a little different. Let's think of it like this, that if you sold $200 products to 5,000 people, $1 million. Repeat that for the people in the back. You sell something for $200 to 5,000 people, you got $1 million in the bank. Or you can sell $1,000 product, $1,000 program to just 1,000 people, and you got $1 million in the bank. Check this out. What if you got $1,000, 1,000 people, not $1,000, but 1,000 people to pay $83 a month for some type of subscription service? That comes up to $1 million a year. So we have to take our goals, our money goals, and break them down, work them backwards. So take that big that big annual goal, annual revenue goal that you have in mind. Break it down into monthly. What does that look like a month that you need to generate? Then break that monthly goal down into weeks. What does that look like? And then divide that weekly goal into 5, because we're not working 7 days a week. We're going to take some days off. And that is how much you desire to generate in a day. But how do you know that until you take the time to break it down, to write it down, and to get clear on it? More than anything, it's very important right now to be sure that we are clear on our vision, that we are clear on what it is that we desire, and that we are clear on what it is that we actually are applying our energy to. Taking us back to the food for thought. Are we using our energy to build, or are we using our energy to destroy? Are we using our energy to pay attention to our own money, or are we using our energy to attack what other people are doing with their money, their family, their business, their problems? Let's circle back to ourselves and figure out what we can do to put ourselves in the position that we desire. And then lastly, I'm not getting out of here without talking about other people's money. Another way to grow your money is using other people's money. I watch it happen on farms all the time. I go to a farm and there's one guy that owns the land. There's another guy that brings the seed. Maybe you need to partner with someone who can help you grow your money. We have to figure this out. Success and wealth is a team building sport. So figure out how you can start using other people's money. And if you don't know, then you have to reach out to Mimi the Motivator, because she will help you. I'll help you build your credit up, your personal and your business credit. I'll point you in the direction to loans, financing, funding, all of that kind of stuff. Because it's imperative that we start using other people's money to grow what it is that we already have. Putting our money in different little spots. Warren Buffett became Warren Buffett by putting small sums of money in areas of high return. So I want everybody, do your homework. First, start with, where is your money going? Where is it coming from? Get clear on that in writing and start going out there and making more money. Make your money grow. I got to get out of here, y'all. We out of time. I am Mimi the Motivator, your favorite motivator's favorite motivator. And thank you for tuning in to the Get High on Motivation show. Wherever you are tuning in from, I thank you and I appreciate you. If you're tuning in somewhere where you can hit that subscribe button, that like button, go ahead and do it. And you know I love feedback, so give me some 5 stars and some comments, y'all. And I will see you next week. So be here. Be me here. I love you. Be happy. Be healthy. Be you.